Listen about the show, and if you don't know what I say about this show, I'm about to tell you right now what I say about this show. And what I say about this show is this. This show is not really about me. It's really about you. This show, this whole concept, the F1 Minute, is about giving you your minute to shine, to debate, to counter, to rebuttal, to tell me your thoughts, your opinions about what you think about the topics and or what's going on in Formula One, so long as it's about what we're talking about. What I would like to see is a good cooperation and be kind to your next neighbor. Be kind to fellow other audience. Now, remember, the audience link is in the comments. It's in the live chat. If you're not a subscriber, you're not active in the live chat, 5 minutes or more. And this is what I would like to ask. If you come here to have a good time, come here to have a good time. All right. Don't come here to spoil a good time with a bad time. Don't come with a bunch of negativity. But if you do, I guess we're kind of talking about free speech too. But remember, there are consequences to free speech. And we are going to get into that. So I would also appreciate if people didn't just come and try to spam the studio chat. Don't do that. It's not a good time for anybody. You know, it's not being a good person. It's not having good character. And we want to have stand-up character. I know I can say some things that are touchy, but it is time. And we are about to wreck this up. F1 Minute is live. Now, listen, you got to call in. You got to call in. If you don't call in, this is going to be an easy show for me. It's going to be an easy show. I'm going to go by these topics. I'm going to say what I think. I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I'm going to dash, and I'm going to go eat, and I'm going to shower, and I'm going to think about more content. I'm going to come back here again next Monday off the back of the Melbourne, Australia GP, which we will also get into that because we are in a GP weekend, and nothing is more exciting than that. People are going to come alive. People tend to go to sleep. They tend to go to sleep when there's no race, right? They go to sleep. People kind of go off, do their own thing. People finally take a break. But I will tell you something. Somebody has taken a break, and they have decided that they want to come out and talk about some things that happened that they were indeed involved in. All right. This person was involved in the situation that happened at Abu Dhabi. All right. Now, I don't know what some people think. Now, this is one of our soft topics. You see the main topic right there. And by the way, subscribe, like, share, all of that good stuff. Join the membership program. But you see the live topic. And the live topic there is what we're going to get into after these couple of soft topics. But this is something that's very funny because a lot of people thought that as time went by, these things would go away. And I was one of the people to tell you that this situation that happened in 2021 is going to go down on a stain on Formula One's cloth, on their linens, on their best suit and tie outfit, on one of their best gowns to the gala. Forever will be remembered as a scandal. It will forever stain Max Verstappen's first championship forever. A lot of people didn't believe that. A lot of people said, and if you want to call in about this topic and give your opinion on one of these soft topics, feel free. Hit the link, use your laptop or your desktop, fill out the information, send that live call in, and I'll pick you up, and you can say what you got to say. You got 60 seconds, one F1 minute from Wolfpack to get your words in, and we'll go. So let's go into this. Big slide up, please. Now, as you see right here, now this is something I told you. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. As the years go by, details are going to start leaking out of this corset that Formula One has bundled up and tied so tight that they thought they were going to be able to hide those love handles, hide that muffin top. Indeed, this comes out. Safety car driver was asked about Abu Dhabi 2021 and says, I walked through the hospitality area with the helmet still on my head. Now, listen, last time I drove off the track with the helmet still attached to my head, it was a bad night for me. I literally drove off the dragway all the way home, said, forget the trailer, with my helmet on. He says, and sat in the back, had to be alone first, stopped and thought, what just happened? The safety car driver who was told to leave the track a lap sooner than he knew by protocol that he should. The safety car driver who was in front of Lewis Hamilton leading the way, who was about to be the 2021 eight-time world champion, 5 back-to-back, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not mad at that. Walked through hospitality with his helmet on, said to himself not be wanting to be bothered, and question what just happened. That doesn't happen if things happen the way they're supposed to. People, I'm here to tell you this. The situation that happened in Abu Dhabi will forever be remembered, and it's not going away. Many details are going to keep coming out. People are going to keep coming forward. As time goes by, you know how they say time heals wounds? Well, time seems to make people feel less pressure about talking about what actually happened. And I'm trying to tell you this. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. Some documentary, some show, some book, I don't know, but it's going to come out. But I'll tell you this. Next thing we're going to get into is I don't know what's going on. Like I tell you, sometimes I think people don't have a GP and they get stir crazy. But you know what? For me saying what I said about Abu Dhabi, let me just say, damn. It's one of those moments. And tonight, you better believe I'm going to talk my...
It's like that.
Definitely, for sure, okay? So let's get into this other soft topic. What is Stefano talking about? What is he talking about? Don't forget, if you want to call in live, you'll have your opportunity. Go ahead, hit that link in the description or in the live chat. It will bring you in as the audience. You will then be able to go ahead and put a call through to me, put your name in, put your question in. I'm going to bring you up. You're going to be able to be on live and go ahead and say what you got to say. But we're going to get into this next soft topic about Stefano. I cannot believe that he would even suggest that he actually would vote, that he actually is in favor of doing something like this. Stefano says he is prepared and willing. He is in agreement that we should ditch, that they should ditch, not we, because I'm not part of that they should ditch free practice. Last time I checked my email, I didn't see a survey. So I don't know what audience Stefano talked to or where this information came from, where he said people don't like free practice. I like free practice. I like FP1, FP2, and FP3. I do. I like all my qualifying rounds. I do. I like all of it. And as he said something very critical still while saying something very foolish. And forgive me if there are live chats going on in YouTube, I don't see it. It's a little bit different doing a live show, trying to stay and keep things flowing. But Stefano says it might be good for the engineers. You think? You think, Stefano? You think it might be good for the engineers? You think? I think it would be too. But he'd be willing to ditch it. People don't really want to see it. That's not true. All right. And you're damn right it would be good for the engineers because you've already decreased the amount of time that these teams have for testing in the preseason. You cut down one location and took away 3 days. All right. They had an opportunity to test in different environments, different locations, different tracks, different tarmac, different conditions, so they can get a better understanding of the car that they're bringing into this year. You decrease that. You cut it in half, as a matter of fact. Now Stefano's up here talking about he want to get rid of free practice. Practice? We talking about practice, people? I'm trying to tell you right now, that would be a crashing situation. That would be a crashing situation. I'm not even lying to you. I don't know how Stefano even believes that, thinks that that's okay. See, but this kind of tells me that the reins and the leadership of Formula One are so into trying to go towards media and what might be friendly. Listen, this is not friendly. This is not something I would want to see. And you can't always give the watchers, the viewers, what they exactly want. If they were capable of running such organization, then they would be in positions to kind of do that. Although I will say some of us that do armchair quarterbacking do a damn good job at it. We call strategies that these professional teams can't get out of their own way to see on race day. Like, why did you choose that tire? The other team ran that tire, was no good. Why did you pull the cars in like that? You couldn't do a double stack. I'm not saying that we, as armchair Formula One quarterbacks, can't call a good shot here and there, but we're not professionals. We're not professional drivers. We're not owners, although sometimes we can make a good call. So, Stefano, if you're listening to this, do not get rid of free practice. Do not do that. It's not a good idea. I don't know if you were joking. If you were joking, you're not a good jokester. You're not a comedian. You didn't tell a good joke. I didn't find it funny. And I don't know who was excited about that if they ever thought that was going to happen. But it definitely shouldn't happen. All right. So let's get in to the meat and potatoes of today's F1 Minute episode. Oh, Nelson, Piquet. Oh, Nelson. Nelson is, a Formula One champion, by the way, who has outlandish things. He said things that would be so incorrect and politically ill. Put his foot inside of a burning bag of fresh dog doo-doo. Damn. Yeah, that's what he did. Fresh dog doo-doo. He put his foot in it. It's burning hot. It's on fire. Might got a couple of smoke bombs in it. And he went and put his foot right in it. Do you understand me? Nelson thought it was okay. Oh, matter of fact, we got a caller. I'm about to take this caller. About to bring him on, see what he got to say. Let's see. Will Harris out of PA doing what he does best, taking up the opportunity and the chances to be up here. What do you got, Will? What's going on, man? So I'm about to put you on your clock. You know I'm about to put you on the clock, man. You fast. I can hear you. I got you. And your F1 minute starts right now, brother. What do you got?
So going back to what we were talking about with Domenicali, I would hope that he's not trying to get rid of all free practices. I would hope that he was referring to some of the comments he made last year in regards to trying to switch it up a little bit. I would hope that he's not trying to get rid of all free practices. He was talking about one-shot qualifying sometimes, maybe bringing in something like that, reverse grid. They've talked about this stuff over the years. Decades ago, they've tried to do different things like that. So I would really hope that he doesn't make that switch and say, okay, we don't need any more free practice. It's kind of crazy. And on the Piquet situation, some people need to realize that this isn't Hamilton doing this. This is the Brazilian courts and the Brazilian government doing this. There was a 2010 statute that was put out there for racial equality. This is on the law books. So you can't get on Hamilton about it. 4 human rights groups brought it up. They brought that forward. They want to double that amount. They want 10 million reals because you got to hit people in their pockets sometimes. Maybe you can't hit them, you got to hit them where it hurts. And his pockets clearly are the way to go.
That is a very good point. And you know what? Thanks for being so level-headed and beating the time. Will Harris fast on the trigger. Right now, our back-to-back winner of Kickback Quality, receiving them checks from Wolfpack. Hey, man, you keep doing what you're doing and feel free, brother, to come on back. You understand me?
Got it.
So listen, Will brings up some valid points that I was going to hit myself, and I guess it goes as the old saying is said, that great minds do think alike. You know what I'm saying? And he sent some shots about some of it. And it's very fun. You know, it's as polarizing as it is for people to always want to say, oh my gosh, they want to make everything about Matt. You want to make other people want to make Lewis Hamilton is for people just say, look, so Piquet, he sent his team after Piquet. No, I don't know if you're familiar with how harassment can work, all right? Especially in the workplace. You can be talking to your friend, your best friend, your brother, your sister, a family member. If somebody is in the surrounding area and can hear what you are talking about, and therefore the words that they hear come out of your mouth offend them to the point, they then are included in being harassed. I mean, I don't know if some of you all are aware how laws work. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how all laws work, but I am familiar with some things. And this is the case. As Will said, the statute judge of the 20th Civil Court of Brazil. Now, can I ask anybody, where is Nelson from? Where is he from? We know he does a lot of hating on Senna. We know he did a lot of hating on Senna, said some foul things about Senna, and that tells you a little bit about his character as it sits right there. But these are the Brazilian courts that sentenced Nelson to pay, reported by CNN. And as Will said, they're looking to try to double this amount. $5 million in compensation for collective moral damages. Now, let's go over this because I'm willing and understanding. If somebody wants to come in and listen, this is what I got to say. I'm sick and tired of you, the type of character that people have to always want to be in the comment section saying this and saying that and say, I wish you would answer my question. I wish you would say something to me. I wish you would debate with me. Well, you got your chance. Here I am on F1 Minute. I set this whole system up. I set this whole segment up to give everybody their opportunity. Will's taking the opportunity. Well, Matt took the opportunity. This is the opportunity where you have to come on, tell me what you think. Big shout out to Jesse James Bell. So why don't you do it? Should be no excuses here. Should be no excuses to this. All right. So 5 million, talking about possibly doubling that amount. Now, they want the funds to be allocated for promotion of racial equality and discrimination against the LGBTQIA community due to the offense made against Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton. That is what they're looking for. I do not blame them for that. Not one bit. Not one bit do I blame them for that. Piquet and others like Piquet, you have to hit them where it hurts. And where it hurts is financially in their pocket. When that money starts dipping, when things like that, when finances start getting slim, these are the type of people they'll then listen. They'll then listen. They'll then know that they cannot conduct themselves that way, at least in the public eye. Now, they might find a way to kind of scurry back in their hole and privately make up. But why would Piquet say such homophobic and racial things about Lewis Hamilton? Now, it's funny. I've already heard certain people want to say, "Oh, it wasn't racial." You know, it's just the cultural. No. I've seen several Brazilians say that. Yeah, it quite indeed is racial. It is racial. So I don't know what you're trying to do or what you want to try to make somebody believe, but don't try to make me believe that. Okay? Do me a favor. Miss me with that. Matter of fact, I tell you what, take that perceptive and that opinion you have and that character you have that might be trash and just run it straight into the wall. Do that for me. Will Harris we got a forward and right there. Question on Piquet. Let's see what he got to say.
Couple more things on this.
Big Will. No, you good, brother, man. You good. Go ahead. You got your F1 minute. What you got?
There's a couple more things that I wanted to mention on this whole Piquet situation. And it just, again, goes back to, someone's character. This is a thing that's been going on with Piquet for decades. He used to make comments about Senna in the past. We can go back to Hamilton. In 2016 for the championship, he said he would have won the championship in 16 against Rosberg if he wasn't gay. These are things that this man says. He used to bring up comments about Senna back in the past, about him being gay. He's brought up things before about Senna when they asked him who was better, and he said, "Well, I'm still alive," in another interview. That's on record. There's a lot of things that this guy does. He called Nigel Mansell's wife ugly. I mean, that's just, I don't even know what's going on with that. This is something that, you start to really look into someone's character at that point. And this man, it's disgusting, the things that he says, things that he does. So, you reap what you sow. After at some point, you got to kind of check this person. So, if Brazil thinks it's okay, then I'm pretty sure, even though there's a few people that said it's not racist, a lot more people did say it was. We've seen that as well, and the courts did, and that's what matters.
Well, I just got to ask a question, brother. How many more of those rounds do you got in that damn clip? Because you're coming out with some bangers, bro. You keep on coming with them. I keep challenging them, bro. I'm bringing you back in. I'm just saying, y'all gonna let Will talk to y'all like that? You gonna let Will talk to you like that? I'm gonna let him talk to you like that because he's making sense. He's making sense. And I got to say, those that want to try to defend these actions of Nelson Piquet, I got to question your character. I got to question your integrity. I got to question how you look at people like me when you see us walking around. I got to question that. If you're defending it, birds of a feather flock together. So then what is Piquet's motivation for this? Is it because Max Verstappen? Y'all want me to bring up Max Verstappen? I'll bring up Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he dating Kelly Piquet. Piquet family's called part of the crash gate. Their name is not the best walking around the grid, but he's dating Kelly Piquet. I'm just adding that. I don't know if they broke up. Maybe I just say they dated to be safe. I'm just saying Max is somewhat at the table. You saying he's somewhat at the table, so birds of a feather do flock together. Now, I didn't see Max come out and say anything strongly to the point that, hey, these things right here, totally unacceptable. I'm separating myself from at least Nelson. Kelly, we got a good thing rolling, and I ain't trying to play off the game like Destiny's Child. But if that's something that she won't even condone, I might have to think about my relationship status with her. You're not going to hear these things because indeed we can go back to the history of the Dutch, and we're not categorizing all people from the Dutch land. But you go back in your history, look at some things, and then you look at the way Max Verstappen conducts himself. Look at the way his dad conducts himself. Look at the way they act when Sergio Perez wins a GP. And then it kind of might start thinking to yourself like it might be a little something to that. Might be a little bit something to that. Now, we do know that Nelson called himself trying to retract what he said. But Nelson, you retracting what you said does not remove your intent, nor does it wash away the damages that you either mentally or emotionally caused a group of people or person said in Sir Lewis Hamilton. It doesn't erase that. And now I know we're going to get on this biggest thing that a lot of people been trying to put up out here and trying to say, oh, my gosh, freedom of speech is dead. Oh, you can't talk. You can't say what you want. Since when is racism against the law? Will you listen to yourself? Since when is racism against the law? Well, I guess since the 10 Commandments. Treat thy neighbor as I want to be treated, if you're religious. Or you can just say, hey, since when was it your damn responsibility to look at somebody and think lesser of them just because the melanin or shade of their skin, just because of where they come from? When did somebody don you to make those decisions? Free speech does not come without consequence, and we've seen this. Free speech does not mean that you are freely willing or able to impose your thoughts or how you feel or make others feel lesser than or to destroy somebody's character out here in the public. Misrepresentation is not part of just free speech. So I think some of you are a little bit confused on your rights or your amendment of free speech and what can actually be attached to that. I think you might need to look at that because indeed it can come with a price tag. You ever heard about hate speech? I mean, what are you talking about? Why do you all want to try to use that defense? But anyway, moving on. Nelson Piquet, get your life together. We're going to talk about the FIA next. We're going to talk about a small topic. We won't stay on it long, but we are going to talk about Technical Directive 39. If you're not familiar with this technical directive, it came into play as the new car hit the grid. Nobody expected that these ground effects were going to cause the Formula One cars to look like a little flipper out there in the ocean, dolphining it up, porpoising around and about. Nobody expected that, except for maybe one person. I would say maybe, quite possibly, Adrian Newey expected it. Maybe. I give Adrian Newey a lot of credit for what he has, what he knows, and the knowledge base, and what he's proven with his time in Formula One. But it came into play, all right, and we know why. A lot of people wanted to try to attach it to, they're trying to cater towards certain teams, and people stop it. I don't know if you people have blinders on. It wasn't just one team porpoising. It wasn't one driver complaining of that their back was being jammed up. Have you seen a Formula One seat? It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. It's not like layers of, it's not like a Lazy Boy. It's not like even your $50 sofa that you might get from Toys R Us or Spencer's or somewhere. It's not that. It's not comfortable throughout the time, especially if you're bouncing up and down and your tailbone is at such angle in that seat. It's not comfortable. All right. There were plenty of drivers talking about back spasm. We saw Lewis Hamilton barely able to get out of the car. All right, it's not a comfortable. Carlos Sainz complained about it. Like many drivers said something as far as their bodies being compromised during this porpoising. So people are saying now that the FIA are trying to secretly get rid of Technical Directive 39, TD 39. All right. I'm glad it's TD and not ED. I don't know how I would feel about saying ED the whole time. Don't want to wish that on anybody. It's TD. But they're saying they secretly got rid of it. They secretly have kind of washed it away. Well, I got some things to kind of say about that. Like, let's say they did get rid of it. Let's say they said, you know what? We don't need this. We can go ahead and just get rid of it. It's not something that we really have to have now, right? We've raised the level of the car. We've raised the height of the car. And therefore, in doing that, raising the height and the level of the car, we've kind of remedied a bit of the porpoising, right? Porpoising has went down. It's decreased some. We don't have as much vertical acceleration, which is why they implemented Technical Directive 39, is because they were saying that, listen, if you have said amount of vertical acceleration that we deem, and listen, they reached out to the teams. They reached out to the teams to get their input on it. The teams were able to put in information. It was like a collective situation. All right. It was like everybody is part of this. Tell us what you think. And they did. And they said, listen, in this amount, they talk to doctors, they talk to staff, they talk to medical physicians, and they say, hey, if you have this much vertical acceleration, we're going to need you to raise the height of that car. Because at this point in time, we're looking out for the safety of the drivers. And let's just be honest. The drivers, like players on the court, like players on the field, like drivers on the track, they are the main attraction. And we indeed have to look out for what brings the eyeballs. Nobody comes to the Formula One or watches Formula One or buys Formula One TV or downloads the Formula One app for a damn engineer. Although y'all do a great job, nobody's paying this amount of money for subscription to look at the FIA. Nobody's paying this amount of money to just look into the garage. They want to see the drivers, even if it's a reserve driver, which we're going to get into that. They want to see the drivers, so they said we have to. Bow, we got a caller. Listen, I'm going to tell you, y'all sad. All the opportunity I give y'all, and now I see what y'all really about. I see what y'all really about. I'm bringing Will back on to pop y'all in y'all mouth. Will, what's going on, brother, man? And guess what? I'm starting your clock. Hit him where it hurts, bro. Oh, man, we lost the sound. I got to stop his clock. I'm not going to cheat Will. I'm not going to cheat Will. I'm not going to cheat him. I'm going to stop his clock.
That's
All
good.
right, man. You got the echo in the background. Make sure you turn me down, man. All right, here you go. You got your F1 minute, bro. Get it popping. What you got?
All right, this is on TD39. And the issue with that is, it's this whole aerodynamic oscillation metric that they put out. We're not really concerned about that. So before you, we're not worried about that. To have that initiated, I cannot have that technical direct and technical.
Your signal broke up, Will. Your signal broke up.
That's stuff.
So hold on. I'm gonna bring Will out, and then I'm gonna let him come back in, and I'm gonna let Will come back in. I'm gonna stop his clock right there, pause him out, and then he can come back in later on and get his opportunity to shine. All right, because we definitely want to hear him, because he's definitely been sending some shots y'all way. So as soon as Will gets right, he get fixed, he gonna call back in. And I just want to say, if you want to be a live caller, the link is in the description. Also, it is in the live chat. You do need a laptop or a desktop. You can be part of the audience via cell phone, but you cannot participate in the live caller. So get yourself a laptop, get on a desktop, go over to your auntie's house, go to your brother's house, go over to your sister's house, go over to your best friend's house, go over to your spouse's house, go over to the person that you're dating and say, listen, I got to get on F1 minute. Can I use your desktop? Can I use your laptop? Soon as Will calls back in, I'm going to bring him in. But yes, I was saying that they thought that they had remedied this situation. They raised the hype. But is it so bad that why do they have to secretly get away with it? Why do they have to secretly try to hide it? I think that they should leave it there and play, because you never know. Ferrari is porpoising this season. Like, surprisingly, I didn't expect that, but Ferrari is. Ferrari's having a rough season altogether. All right, organizationally and performance-wise. And I don't know if they're going to get, they broke right now, and I'm trying to see if they're going to get fixed. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to see if Ferrari going to get fixed, y'all, because right now they triple crashing. And I'm just being honest with it. And I'm a little bit sad about it, y'all. I thought Ferrari, the Scarlet Red team, everybody was raving about, oh, Ferrari does the shakedown at the launch. It's the best thing ever. And I said, no, it's not. And y'all said it was. And now the shakedown probably is the best thing that's went down since rounds done went by us. And now we're going to see what happens in Australia. Will's back for us. He's back with us. I'm bringing him in. Here we go. Will, you got the mic. Drop it like it's hot, brother. You got it. You sound good. Let's go.
All right. Here we go. On TD39. The biggest issue with this is, if you look through the current FIA regulations, there's nothing showing there throughout 179 pages worth of stuff. There's nothing there that shows. So they're doing this as the FIA between the teams and not making it public to the general public. And that, again, ties also into the other issue. And a lot of there's people on here that are probably serving in the military. How many regs do you have to usually abide by that aren't updated over decades? You look at the update date, and it's from like 1996, things like that. So there also are a lot of things that they just don't update these things, and then there's no transparency. We can't actually see when they're actually making any changes, any amendments. The update section in the last one that was just issued, I believe, on like the 23rd, doesn't show anything in there. So again, this is just, I guess, some journalistic integrity, some people that just were in the know that can make this public, and then eventually it all came out. So hopefully they can maybe fix that in the future as well. They need to really have a little bit more transparency with this.
Well, you are absolutely right, brother, man. I don't know, man. Every time you nail your time, brother, man. Hey, man, we'll be on it, man. He's definitely on it, and I definitely going to speak to that. Thank you, brother, man. Listen, he's right. Will is right once again. Will is rap tight. If you know what, nobody can tell me that if you break down and you're stranded on the side of the road, that you hope the wheel in your trunk is right. And Will, we are right now trusting. They need to be transparent. And Bryson and I talked about this as much as the FIA are needed. The concept of the FIA are definitely needed. But what is more needed is the fact that the FIA have to do better. They have to do better. They have to inform better. And they need to act. They're too reactive. They need to be proactive. Before we ever came across so many outlets reporting that the FIA were trying to secretly get rid of TD39, I should have been able to go to a reputable FIA site and see that in their news or top topics or new latest document changes, here is what's going on. Should have been able to do that. And like Will said, I myself checked. There's no type of change. You're lucky if you find it at all. All right, you're lucky if you find it all. If you look through all the revisions or the publications or said times, months, and years going back from 2021 all the way through 2022, and even in coming into 2023. There was a lot of time, if this is something that they were talking about doing, for them to actually do it, follow up with it, make the right changes, come out with the regs again, and have a meeting between the teams, the drivers, and even announcing it to us so that we as viewers understand the criteria that the teams will have to abide by in such an interesting thing in season as porpoising and the new era of these cars in 2023, just following 2022, as that was a clown show of a season. And right now, we're looking to have a pretty good season. Now, I know it's not starting off well for Mercedes fans. This is very true, but it is all not over. And there's a little bit of overreaction going on as we are only out of round 2 going into round 3 after a break. We're looking to see what type of updates they're going to bring, right? But it's also very funny to see that there is such a high amount of attention on Mercedes. It's not that I don't understand why. Lewis Hamilton is the best driver in Formula One. He's a 7-time world champion. Anybody that has not reached his level is trying to get to his level. And essentially, he's Big Daddy on the grid. All right. He's their role model. He's what they aspire to be. And when you are that type of person, anytime you're down, people are going to try to kick you. Mercedes has been a giant for some time. Now, Red Bull looks like they're getting control on it, but things could change for Red Bull very soon. It did with Seb. Seb went 4 times and then it was over. Alonso's very happy right now. He's 2-time champion after 17 years, almost 2 decades. He's just now retasting what a podium is even like. He's punch drunk still. I think he's going to show up to Australia drunk, and once he gets there, he's supposed to be buying people beers because Aston Martin have done a hell of a job on that AMR 23, and he's going to be drunk again. You know, Helmut Marko didn't have no problem saying that Sergio Perez was drunk on tequila because Russell got him off the restart of the safety car. I'm just saying, Helmut, you got to chill on that. But yeah, TD39, whether it is secretly taken off the books or not, I'm not sure that they should at this point in time. I think it's way too early. All right. It's better to have and need than need and not have. And with Ferrari still experiencing porpoising even while raising the car's ride height, I think there's still evidence there that, hey, leave it on the books. We don't know if we're going to need it. At the end of the day, we really implemented this, hopefully, for the safety of those drivers. And if said situation does arise again, let's not have to go back and kill a bunch of trees and ink and time. Let's leave it on the books until it's time to do an update. And I'm pretty sure that there are other regs in this document that need to be updated that definitely need some attention. Okay, like the jury reg. Like you need to update that. Why don't you do that? Instead of calling Lewis Hamilton in every GP or writing him up on documents every GP for jury and then saying no further action, why don't you update that? Be a little bit more specific. The situation that happened with Alonso and Esteban, as far as Esteban's not being, oh, we got somebody. Max has no integrity, they say. I'm about to bring them on right now. They're going to have their F1 minute. Here it goes. All right, first, before we get started, let me hear you introduce yourself and where are you calling from, good sir? We know Will's calling from PA, but where are you calling from?
What's up, bro? I'm
What's
calling
going on?
from the UK, Bristol.
Go, big shout out.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, man. I'm about to start your clock. You let us know what you got to say. Boom, you on.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think Verstappen has any integrity, man. I mean, the kid has had a history of doing some things on track but hasn't had the ability to accept accountability at the end of the day. To have that kind of response after Sergio Perez won a race, a fair race, no cheating, didn't run him with all the shit. Sorry for
No,
cursing.
you good. Hey, brother, this Wolfpack F1 minute. You all right? You keep going. Don't let it ruin your flow, man. This is
Right.
Go ahead.
Consider what he did to Lewis during last year's Saudi Grand Prix. Ran the guy
Okay.
off the track at every opportunity Lewis tried to overtake. Imagine if someone did that to Max. Sergio did nothing to this dude, and he's acting like you know the word I want to use. I want to use the B
Yeah,
word.
I do. I do.
I
I do.
mean, nah, I can't really understand these people accepting his fake championship. You've heard the quotes from the F1 safety driver. He drives a
We run
safety car, and he's
right.
been saying he just couldn't believe what happens. You know, and damn, like to think what they did to that man, and he's still standing, and Verstappen can't even accept his teammate winning. The difference in integrity. You can say he's young, whatever, but the lad's been in this sport for a good time now. If he
Right.
doesn't know how to behave, he's a spoiled brat.
Ooh.
There was a time I respected this man, but not anymore. Not in the slightest.
Man, that's your F1 minute, brother. Listen, just because you had 1 minute don't mean you can't have another. If you got one, you call right back in, bro. I'm going to talk to some of those points. Call right back in. Take your opportunity, bro. As long as we on this show and we live, you got it, brother, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Listen, I know he was on technical director, but brother brings up a point. Max Verstappen he's not a rookie. All right. It took him like 6, 7 seasons before he even got his first championship. And like my man just said, it's a fake championship on it. And I think everybody can pretty much agree to that to some terms. It doesn't hold as much validity when you don't have a situation like the debacle and scandal that we know happened. And like we talked about at the beginning of the show, I showed the tweet. The safety driver himself, who knows the protocols, who knows the regs, who knows his job. Even he, now that we are finding out, was wondering what just happened. What just happened? Daniel Ricciardo said as much as I don't want to be involved in that F stuff. That was effed up. Listen, on the anniversary of Abu Dhabi, I'm going to have a show here. I'm going to have a show here on the anniversary of Abu Dhabi. Good God willing, and I am still standing topside and able to get on this microphone. And I am going to review some information with you all that will show and should show and open your eyes to the fact that what happened there in 2021 was not an error, but a forced situation. I'm gonna show you. I mean, it's all out there. Some people don't want to see. Some people just want to stay blind to the fact. Some people want to promote the crap so they can make them feel better about themselves. But Max, if you listening out there, it's never gonna go away. Now, 2022, I'm gonna give you that championship, even though it's a cost cap situation. And now with the cost cap situation, we can see that the ripple of effect of breaching the cost cap has benefited these teams that breached the cost cap. Now, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I did a video, and it's very coincidental. And some people say if something is so much of a coincidence, maybe it's not. That the 3 teams that breached the cost cap in either some way, shape, form, or fashion, if you go and read all the articles in the sections that they breached by, are all doing substantially well. That's Williams Racing, Aston Martin, and Red Bull Oracle Racing. I'm just saying, you connect the dots where you want to. I'm just saying, is that a coincidence, or is just maybe that's what you get when you overspend, and overexpenditures goes out. Now, as Bryson did say, the penalty that had been enforced on Red Bull, although a very slack penalty, one that was continuously negotiated while we're talking about regs and cost cap breaching, we wouldn't see the effects of that until the following era generation of the car, because this car was pretty much already done. I still don't think it's much, all right? But let's go on to our next segment. We're about to talk about somebody, an entity, a car company that I myself do like, especially that GTRS. Woo! That thing is smoking. If you haven't seen that new GTRS, I'm trying to tell you right now, that thing is bad. It's bad. All right. We're about to get into our next segment, and we are talking about Porsche. What are you doing? What is Porsche doing out here these days? I don't understand it. I have no clue what happened to him. I mean, what literally happened to Porsche? Did they just forget how to all of a sudden make cars, or did they forget how to find their ways to the Formula One grid? Did they forget how to evaluate teams? It is being said that Porsche is over and done. They will not be joining Formula One. It's a wrap for them. And the reasons that they gave for Porsche not joining Formula One, to me, were so ridiculous. And if this is true, to me, it is an indictment on Porsche as a company, as a brand, as a staple, as a household name in the words and atmosphere and environment of racing. Okay. Now, if you don't recall, in the beginning, Porsche was talking about they were going to come in with Oracle Red Bull Racing. They wanted 50%, or it was said that reported that 50% of ownership of Red Bull Technologies will belong to Porsche. But also, Red Bull, I don't believe we're going to be privy to intellectual property of Porsche. And I don't blame them. Porsche is the big daddy. They're coming in. You're an energy drink company. All right. We have probably Porsche probably has over 50, 60 years of racing experience and probably 25,000, 30,000 awards in different series that they've been racing in. And we're going to come in and you think that we're not going to be the A side? No, Red Bull. You're going to be the B side. You're going to be the B side because you already got a B in your name. Bull. You're going to be the B side. We're going to be the A side. Some people didn't like that. Christian, for one, didn't like it. I don't know if Helmut liked it, but some didn't like it. Some seemed like they were like, yo, let's go ahead and do this deal. But either way it went, it didn't happen. All right. Now, we already know Red Bull powertrains is really not a thing. We do know this. Red Bull powertrains is not a thing. It's not. And really, if you want to call that a shot, you can call it a shot. Red Bull powertrains is not a real thing, okay? So I find it indictment. Porsche has literally, listen to this, all right? I mean, if you don't know, Porsche is in Le Mans, Rally, IMC, F1, IndyCar, and more. With everything that they've done, with everything that they've been a part of, with everything that Porsche has accomplished, with all the cars and great racing and spirited cars that Porsche has built and sold across the world, I refuse. It is my opinion that I do not believe that Porsche would misevaluate their entry into Formula One like a space shuttle missing the window to return back to Earth and skipping off the stratosphere and going right back into space. I do not believe that for one bit. I cannot believe that. I am not one who believes Porsche is the type of company to misevaluate their entry into something as big as Formula One. You want to know what I think? I'll tell you what I think because it's my opinion and I got a right to it. And you got a right to share your opinion too on F1 Minute. If you click that link, come in as the audience, put in a live call. I'll bring you in just like I brought in the other two brothers. And now listen, I'm looking for some women to spit their facts too. Women, if you got an opinion, call up here. This is for everybody. If you're a hater of this channel, but you still here in the comment section, you still watch my content because you always want to have something to say, call up here and say what you got to say. I find it funny that you are not saying anything. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, while we got some time, let's go to some super chats over on the YouTube channel. I got Jesse James Bell. He says Max is a spoiled brat, unlike Lewis, and his father worked hard to get him where they are at. Now, that is a true thing. Anthony Hamilton worked several jobs. Popped up to the grid, not with all the lavish trailer, all the lavish parts. He had to work hard. He had to sleep less, and he did more to put his son in a position to be as great as he is. And now Lewis Hamilton is who he is. Where did we got another super chat? Let me see if we got one. Galacticus says driver's seats bolted on the floor. You feel everything. Everything transfers up through that floor, that monocoque into your butt. You gonna feel it all. You are the shock absorber. All right, so big shot on that. I think I got all the super chats. Let me go back over here. So I do not think Porsche misevaluated that. And if they did, that's such a big indictment. It's not even funny. All right. But I will say this. Porsche had this big thing finally. They trademarked it. It was like, finally, we arriving. Let me tell you what my opinion is. The Volkswagen car group utilized their strength in numbers to strong arm and persuade Formula One to adjust the regs for the upcoming era where they are going to ditch the MGU-H. Okay, they're going to ditch that. They still got the MGU-K. They're going to ditch that, right? That makes it better for them coming in. And then what happens? Everything gets tidied up. Volkswagen and Audi's coming in. They got everything they need. Engine, the space. They've already started hiring technical directives, engineers. They're all straight. Next thing you know, we start hearing that Porsche don't have what it would be required to develop engine in their own space. Next thing we know, we hear, you know what? Red Bull thinks it's not a good fit, so maybe they can end up with Williams or Haas. Next thing we hear, we don't hear. We ain't heard nothing from Porsche. Have you heard? Have you seen them? Do you know where they are? We have heard nothing from Porsche. But let me tell you something. There is somebody still willing to be a part of Formula One. Now, they said you need the money. You need the money, right? Well, damn. Andretti and them got the dilution fee. They got the money to pay the 200 and something plus $1 million. Oh, you know what? You just need to buy one of these chassis already on the grid. You're trying to come in as your own team. You don't have enough financial backing for us to consider you coming in as your own team. So what does Andretti do? He goes and get with one of the biggest U.S. manufacturers of cars in the world, General Motors by way of Cadillac. We don't know if we really like that fit. Plus, they don't really know if they got their own motor. Meanwhile, Red Bull up here is still boasting about Red Bull powertrains. They got Honda. They trying to put Honda on the back burner like they a side chick or side dude. Then next thing we know, they talking about they getting in bed with Ford, which is found on road dead or fix or repair daily. And ain't no problem with that. But it's a problem if Andretti's talking about Honda and, you know, damn General Motors coming together. So I'm just saying. So other than that, Andretti got that. Andretti participates in several series: Extreme E, Formula E, IMSA, IndyCar, Indy Next, Supercars, and more. And I got a caller right now, Will. Porsche he want to talk about. Let's go. Will's got his F1 minute. We about to light it up. I'm about to hit this clock. Boom, you on the clock, bro. What you got to say?
So with this Porsche deal, originally I thought that maybe it was just like some kind of like internal squabbles going on because Dietrich wanted to put the deal through, and then all of a sudden the deal didn't go through. And so I was on one side of the fence, and then I flipped after looking into it a little bit more and realized that it was more really about Porsche just kind of wanting more without putting out as much, so want more for less. And they asked for a lot of provisions to get into Formula One, and now all of a sudden they're not doing it. And two of the big ones was what was affected in the cost cap for the engines once they come through in 2026. So everyone had to agree to that. And the MGUH is a big one because that was originally Merck's technology. They were the ones that came up with that. They said, "Hey, no problem." Toto said, "Sure, if that's what it takes to get them in, we'll get rid of it." It might have been a little bit of hubris there, might have been a little bit of maybe we should have done it, but they did agree to that. And so once you do that, and then you back out of it, it just seems like it's a little bit of a mess. So for Porsche doing that, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, and my favorite Porsche is 73 2.7 Carrera RS. Love that car.
Bro, put it on, y'all. Boom, boom. Well, hey, man, listen, I just want to apologize, Will. I know you like that ironclad Mercedes car, man. I know I ain't mean no disrespect last time we talked about that, bro. But, you know, I ain't gonna make a lot off of them.
That's the hammer. Yeah, the 190 hammer. Let's go.
Hey, so my brother makes point, and this is what I'm saying. Like all these things that they persuade, and like I say, I don't totally remove Porsche from the Volkswagen family and Audi. I think they played their hand. I think they got what they needed, and Porsche just, you know, he's right. They want a lot for a little, or maybe they wanted a lot for what they got, and then Porsche like, hey, the deal's done. We walking away. We never planned on really being here anyway. All right, but Andretti's in the wings and he's waiting. And I think there are a lot of people out there, and I think there's a group of Formula One motorsport fans that would like to see the Andretti family get their opportunity in Formula One. Andretti is a Formula One champion. The Andretti name has competed in many series. I read some off earlier. Matter of fact, Andretti Autosports have bought Jamie Chadwick in as their driver, got her a major sponsor, and she's competing in Indy Next amongst a grid of a bunch of men where a lot of people said women can't do it, and she's doing it. She's been doing it. Now she's competing at that stage, and I'm really looking and I'm excited to see where that goes. So why is Andretti and their family, matter of fact, they got the new facility they're building, why are they not given the opportunity? Why are they not being looked at with a favoritism? Why are they not being let the doors be open for Andretti as you try to open up the doors for the Volkswagen car group? I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. What's up? What's up? Andretti ready. He's ready. And I think Andretti should get his opportunity. So next segment we going to, and it's sad, y'all. It's sad. I'm one of the people that said indeed that This guy, Danny Rick, oh my gosh. I did say this. I said he ain't done. Danny Rick's not the worst driver on the grid. And I'm not saying at that point in time I was wrong. Like at that point in time, I was right. He wasn't the worst driver. But since Danny Rick has proclaimed his lavish reserve driver lack of or not duties at Red Bull Racing, where has Danny Rick been? Can anybody tell me that? Where has he been? We've seen more of Mick Schumacher as a reserve driver at Mercedes than we've ever seen of Danny Rick while supposedly being with Red Bull Racing. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know if you've seen it, but if you want to watch something so damn cringeworthy, go check out the Red Bull Racing video about them calling Danny Rick. Now, they got a clip in here. They call Danny Rick, and he on a damn tractor, y'all. Looking about country bunking is all get out. And they calling Danny Rick to get this RB series car. I think it was, I don't know what it was, the RB17 maybe. Call him to get it out. I mean, the whole entire thing is so cringy. Like, this is why they got Danny Rick. And I told you all this was a PR thing. I told you this was a PR thing. Red Bull are not stupid. They bring a gun to a fork fight, and they knew that Max Verstappen, he's not marketable. He's gonna do some things that people are not gonna like. He's going to say some things and do some things when Sergio wins, and he's going to say some things that people are going to look at and say, man, that guy's character is questionable. They say, we need a clown. We need somebody to do the show. We need somebody to do the dance to get us into the good arms and warm hearts of the people across the world. And that person is Danny Rick because he's got that character. I met Danny Rick in person. We had a shoe competition. He had the boots. I had the pink shoes representing the breast cancer. And by the way, big shout out. My bro took the picture and posted up shoes in the paddock. Big shout out to him. But Danny Rick was a cool dude, and I could see why they would get him for this role. But man, if Danny Rick was still on the grid today, he might end up being the worst driver there. Maybe right now. If you look at the drivers now, Latifi's gone. That standard's gone. Mick's in a reserve driver role, so he's off. Grosjean's not there anymore. He's gone. I mean, it would be tough competition for Danny Rick at this point in time, honestly, even if he was at McLaren. So I'm not mad Danny Rick getting that check for doing less and getting more. Like Will just said about Porsche, they wanted more to do less. Danny Rick is doing less and he's getting a check. He's a millionaire while he just gets to come and do PR things to try to help Red Bull clean up the stains that Max Verstappen drops like a spoiled brat when he's damn eating chocolate candy. He just gets it all over his bib, drops it all over the carpet. The Berber carpet is hard to get stuff out. You know what I'm saying? He's that guy. And it's unfortunate for me, honestly, because I was hoping for more for Danny Rick. I really was. I was hoping that maybe he would just change the environment. He made too many moves. Like, one thing I learned during this weekend is that when trying to adjust to find a bit more of performance, you can't go adjust 5-6 things. When you adjust those things all at one time and then you do get that positive result, you don't know which one of those changes you changed which led to that more so than the others. Danny Rick changed teams too many times and too fast to give himself a chance to settle and grow. Some say he should have never left Red Bull. Maybe that is true. I don't know if he wanted to be next to the likes of Max Verstappen. Then he goes to Renault. Renault was throwing up smoke bombs, but they said, you know what? We got a program. We're going to try to get right. We broke. We're trying to get fixed. Danny Rick is going to come in. Danny Rick said, I'm committed to this team. I'm going to see this through as we grow and we develop and become into a formidable Formula One team and fight our way up the grid. And Renault was all for it. And I think they did make that progress. It's a shame that Danny Rick left them. He abandoned them. So did like Alonso, just in a nicer way, too soon, too early. He goes to McLaren, underperforms, get ushered out by Lando Norris. Now he's back with his arms folded and the umbrella wilted across his head because it just fell because it couldn't hold the rain. I can't stop the rain, y'all. Check out that, Big Papa and Shaq. It's a nice track. Probably one of the better tracks that Shaq came out with. But anyway, yeah, Danny Rick back. And he's back and we ain't seen him yet. Now we're going to see him now that they're in Australia. I mean, is that Is that kind of rude? Is that kind of funny? Like, yeah, you're not good enough to come anywhere else, but are we going to your home? Can you come check? Can you come sit with me? I got to see your mom this weekend. You mind if you actually show up, so she can think we're still together, so she can think you're still okay with me, that I'm not out running around the town with other damn cars. No, I think it's cringeworthy. I don't like the position. I don't like what I'm seeing with it. Altogether, I think Danny Rick ruined his career. I think had he at least stayed at Alpine, we might be seeing better from him. I think Alpine would be in a bit better position. I do not think that Danny Rick cannot get himself together, but I could be wrong, because this could be the very true proof that he can't, because he is where he is right now. And maybe if he could get himself together, he would have got himself together, because as it sits right now, he's not together. He's out in the field in a tractor. Danny Rick coming in hot. Will's coming in. I'm about to start that clock. He about to get his F1 minute, because y'all ain't getting it because y'all scared out there. Will is back in to punch y'all mouth with some facts. So, Will, let's go, bro.
All right. I started off with the Shaq comment.
Yeah.
Listen, they forget. That's a platinum selling artist right there. Okay, he went platinum, and he's from North New Jersey, which is right next to the town I grew up in, East Orange and Orange, New Jersey. We're all from the same area in Essex County. It's a good dude right there.
Yeah.
We rep him all the time. So here's the thing with Danny Rick. This is what I think. I think that he had that opportunity there at Red Bull, and we know he outperformed Verstappen while he was there. He probably wanted to leave because he realized where the team was going, that direction they were going, because they want that number one driver. They do things a little differently than some of the other teams do. It's not even about let them race. It's more about, we have a number one driver. You are the number two driver. That's why he's going through, I think Verstappen's going through 5 or 6 teammates in the amount of time that he's been in F1. I mean, you go Daniel Kvyat, you got Ricciardo, you've got
Gasly,
there's quite a few, Albon. So I think that also plays into it. But he's also at the point where, as far as Danny Rick goes, he needs to realize, okay, I'm here because it's the Perez thing. If Perez doesn't do what he needs to do, I'm in next. That's why he's there.
Damn. The only time Will barely comes in a minute, and damn, I gotta say, Will got a point, my brother. Keep coming with them facts. Will got a point. Now, listen, we can talk to that, because that was something really going about and really going around. That indeed, after the situation that occurred in 2022 with the whole trying to blame Perez with this false allegation that he purposely wrecked in Monaco, and then Max coming up with why he declined and refused team orders, did not support Perez the way Perez supported him, did not do as he said he would do in Abu Dhabi, give him full support, because if he did, Perez had the corner. Max should have let him have it in the RB18. There's no reason why he can't win. He should have let him go by in the sprint, Brazil, and then they would have had a 1 and 2 for that season. They indeed bought Danny Rick in. I believe Will is correct, and I do share that same opinion, not only for PR, but definitely for pressure on Perez. Like, if you do not want to conform, then we have the driver to. But I'm going to tell you like this. Perez, screw that. Screw that and screw them, Perez. I'm telling you right now, trash it all up, bro. Throw up the dishes, throw cups around, tear up the windows, and then get the gun and shoot the damn peephole out and tell them this. I don't give a damn what you say. If you want to put Danny Rick in the RB19, go ahead. Go ahead. You think Danny Rick gonna defend like the MOD? You forgot who the hell I am. I'm the Minister of Defense. You done lost your damn mind. You think Danny Rick gonna do that? Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, put Danny Rick in the RB19 and see how Max be looking in. Listen to me. You don't want a 1 and 2 with Red Bull? Is that what you telling me? Go ahead. Go ahead. Perez signed his contract too early. He should have charged y'all more ducats than he charged y'all. Perez, you need a better manager. Hit your boy Wolfpack up. I'll get you a better contract next time. Don't sign that contract till they put a couple more zeros on there, bro. All right, they need to change that digit. No way Perez should be making less than 15 mil given what he done. But he signed too early. Now they got Danny Rick there to proclaim pressure on Perez. If you don't do what we want you to do, we'll put him in the car. Well, Perez, guess what? Championships don't come around that easy unless you get one like Max in 2021. That's the truth. But you got to do what you got to do, Perez. Don't let up. Keep your foot on the gas. You got every right in this new, fresh season of 2023 to have your opportunity to compete for a championship that you may very well have the capability to get. Perez, I'm not saying is a better driver than Max Verstappen in a total package, but what I am saying is Perez has enough to do what he needs to do, given Max may have a DNF. Max may start from the back and unable to get to the front like we've seen several times when he starts from the back. We've seen it several times. Perez might have enough to break that difference. And it might come down to one race. And Perez, if you do what you need to do right now and that opportunity presents itself, you'll be ready. See, because I'm trying to tell you like this is a life thing. When an opportunity comes around, you have to be prepared when it comes or you miss it. Perez right now might be prepared to get it.
It's like that.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Danny Rick been on a decline. He ain't been doing nothing. He hadn't been showed up. I don't know how much sim time he's gotten. But if Danny Rick is there to put pressure on Perez, I ain't worried about it. Man, Perez, don't you worry about it. If they want to put him in there, go right ahead. Trust me, it's going to be some teams real soon with like a driver like Perez, because it's going to be some drivers that be willing to leave some places, and those other teams might get right, and that driver might fit. You never know how these pieces fall in place, all right? You never know how it goes, but the Red Bull video was very cringy. If you haven't checked it out, I hate to say go give Red Bull views, but shit, I gave him the view. Go watch it. Go see what you think for yourself. Go check it out. It's cringeworthy to me. But Red Bull, you know, they always try to do a good job with the action-packed films, but it's just so cringe. It's like, man, this is what it's come to. This is what it's come to for Danny Rick. It was sad. I was sad. So listen, that is an F1 minute. And if you did not take the opportunity to click that live caller link to hit it and come on as Will did and my other brother did, hey, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to tell you like this. You lamed out. You lamed out. Will got fun stuff. He gonna come in at the last minute and says, you know what, I'll take it all. I'll take it all. Will is the number one call. He about to close down. I'm about to put him on his F1 minute. Will, you got, I thought Will had the mic. I thought he did. There he goes. Will, you got the mic. Here we go. Boom. The F1 minute, brother. Go ahead.
All right. Again, encourage everybody to call in, calling on these Monday calls. It's a lot of fun. Everyone can just call in, but I wanted to end it on a little something fun. So
let's go.
What I think for the Mercedes Dream Team, what we should do, and I had to write this down because the names, a lot of names here. Okay. Get Alba Costa back, right?
Okay.
Get James Vowles back from Williams, right? Spend a lot of time arguing with Patty Lowe, get him back. Angela Cullen needs to come back. Lewis can go out, go bring her back, right? Bring her back into the 4A, all right? Bono's already there. He rides to the wheels fall off, so he's already there.
Okay.
And we're gonna have George and Mick on reserve driver, just in case we have to do like call an audible, bring them in for like a plan B or a plan C. So they're there.
Okay.
Roscoe's just Roscoe. He's just there for moral support. You know,
Right,
we'll be just
right.
hanging out while they're putting together the plans to get the next championship. All right. And then at the very end, Ross Brawn will walk in and say, Toto, I didn't think you can get the team back together, but I'm in. What we'll call it, Toto's 11.
Oh, listen. And right before that time, and I'm going to let that bell click like that because really, Will just shut it down. He say, Toto, get on the phone and make these calls. Will, bro, I thank you. Appreciate you for coming with that fire, man. Big shout out to Will from the PA, man. Big shout out. Listen, Will, I got to get Will in. And he just wrecked y'all. He encourages y'all. He tried to encourage y'all. He said, hey, man, he said, Toto, listen, if you checking out F1 Minute, I'm talking to you, Toto. Listen, you admitted the failure. You admitted your mistake. It take a big man to do that, Toto. Take a big man to do that. Now you need to call them shots. You need to get on the phone. You need to call all the people my man Will just listed. Call Will. Get with me. I get you Will's information. You call Will. Matter of fact, give him a job, good paying job. Get that man like $250,000 a year. He going to do good for you. And then get that list and say, hey, you know what? This is what we need to do. You know, we was under the cost cap. We abided by the rules, and then Red Bull went and hired all our people that we had to let go to stay under. You know, we got to do what we got to do this season. You know, if we only going to get like $7 million worth of fine and about 7%, 10% reduction in wind tunnel time, I'm all for it if it get us another championship. We get 9, Lewis to get his 8. Everything is great, and I ain't rhyming like that. I'm just saying I might be a rapper. Maybe I'm not a rapper, but I can, you know, do a little something, spit some little facts, spit some little, you know, like that. 16 tracks I lay hot. But anyway, that's another F1 minute. If you didn't call, you slept on me. If you was in the chat or you in the comment section and you was chatting it up and you didn't live call, you slept on me. If you get in the comments later and you start hating and you got all this to say, but you didn't show up when we was live and we was going at 5 where you can get on and talk to me in real time, you slept on me. But anyway, that's another episode of F1 Minute, your live Formula One hottest talk show Monday nights. And we're going to be back here off the back of the GP this weekend. We're going to be live Sunday with Finale Lap, post-race highlights where we go crazy on YouTube. Then we're going to be here for Quality Kickback on Saturday for qualifying, where you can have your opportunity to win a $25 or $50 gift card. Wheels won 2 of them. You got trivia questions. You just got to be the fastest of 3. You can steal points off each other. It's a great time, fun time. And if you don't mind, click like, share, and subscribe. And that's another